Most CEOs are really unwilling to say anything, right? They'll talk to you privately,
Absolutely.
but publicly, unless they're going to be in praise of what's ever happening in Washington, if they have a concern, if they have a question, they are not willing to raise their hand and say, this is a problem. And so the biggest concern I have is, if in fact we ever get to a moment where there is a crisis, or we're on the precipice, or we need to make some very difficult decisions, are there going to be leaders who are going to be willing to stand up and explain what needs to happen if whatever those steps are counter to whatever's coming out of this White House?
And is Jamie Dimon that guy? Like, I mean, obviously, a lot of the corporates see him as that guy. Do you think that would he do that?
I like to believe that somebody like Jamie Dimon in that moment would do that. I think there are some people who may. It would be interesting to see whether some of the tech leaders would. I don't know. It's so interesting to me, the public, I think, to the extent that there are people who have questions about what's happening in Washington today and are frustrated or upset about it, and they say to themselves, where are the business leaders, especially the billionaire business leaders, aren't they protected? If anybody could raise their hand, shouldn't they be the ones to raise their hand? But what's so unique, I think, and this goes to the human story of even 1929, everybody ultimately, there's an insecurity that drives almost everybody in some way. And so I kind of think that no matter how much money you have in your bank account or what business title you have on your business card, I don't think it's like emotional armor, weirdly enough. And so I think a lot of these people still don't know their own station in life or feel secure enough to raise their hand. And the truth is, I think that what's happening in Washington now, there are real reasons why you would feel insecure, because if you do raise your hand,
We've seen cases of them being pointed out, and
we know what
they get hit
can
pretty
happen.
hard. Yeah.
So it's this sort of interesting trade-off, and the question is, I think, for most business leaders that are concerned about, for example, certain things that are happening in Washington now, I think the trade-off in their mind is, if I raise my hand now, I may not have a hand. And should I raise it now? Should I raise it later? Will there be a later?
So what you're saying is that if there were a big crisis,
Right.
economic crisis at this point, it's going to have to be led, the response is going to have to be led intelligently by whoever is in the right positions in the administration, because otherwise the CEOs aren't going to be there.
I think that's very true. Now, interestingly, to me at least, I remember during the pandemic, what did the Trump administration do? It flooded the system with money. Remember, the Treasury Secretary, that's what they did.
Yeah.
And uniquely, the country did not squawk about it at all. So unlike the 2008 bailouts, when people were out of their minds about bailing out banks and all of the different things.
The automotive companies.
Companies. In 2020, for the most part, people were very happy about PPE loans.
And it was a lot more money.
It was a lot more money. Nobody seemed to get upset when the airlines were being bailed out.
Because everyone was getting some. It was literally everyone.
And so maybe that's the answer. Maybe everybody was getting some. But I think it'll be very interesting to see, and hopefully it'll just be interesting. I hope it's only interesting if there is another crisis.